Hi, spots and cheap pops! Ladies and gentlemen, here is Vladi Dadi and Silicon Steve Valli. You wanted to talk about Ricky Starks? Chris Jericho looks like he's digging his fangs into another younger talent. Vladi Dadi's been very critical of Chris Jericho as of late. What is your opinion of Ricky Starks starting a program with Mr. Chris Jericho?
I just wanted to bring up how you and I were discussing the Ricky Starks promo with MJF, and I was all over it. Loved it. Loved every second of it. To me, Ricky Starks became a star that night. And one of the things I said, I'm like, please, I said to you, I go, please keep the EVPs away from this. And I'm like, and keep Jericho away from this.
You did say that.
And I was just like, just to the wrestling gods, just separate themselves from this. They couldn't resist. They could not resist. And it's not the EVPs this time. Of course, it's Jericho. And
who might as well be an EVP.
Yes, because he does wield a lot of influence with Mr. Tony Khan.
They call it stroke.
He has a lot of stroke. That's for sure. So here you have Jericho fresh off of him putting over Action Andretti, which... And the story goes, he saw with like one match of this guy, went to QT Marshall, was like, yo, that's the guy I want to put over. Like, that's how much thought he put into this, right? And really, what is it? Like, he went and put over Andretti here, who, I mean, is he really all that different than what you have already that we're seeing there? Like, what is he, the next Jungle Boy? What? Like, I don't see it. Okay, but the thing is, there's nothing special. And again, it's Jericho putting his name next to some young guy. And we're talking a little bit more about Jericho putting somebody over versus, hey, that talent is awesome. He beat Jericho. Like, it's not that. So that's, again, Jericho's little ways he likes to manipulate things.
I think Jericho wanted to see if he can get this kid over. It was an ego trip. He's like, I'm gonna job for this kid, and I'm gonna get him over the way Scott Hall got the 1, 2, 3 kid over 20-something years ago. It was the same kind of vibe.
With Scott Hall and 1, 2, 3 kid, I think that was more for like friendship and like business reasons. I think there's a lot more. There's a lot more like, I don't know, more of a future for like 1, 2, 3 kid, Sean Waltman, versus this guy, right? And again, if you're telling me Jericho saw like 1 or 2 matches of this guy and doesn't really know him from Adam, it seems like to be a bit of a trigger sort of response on some sort of idea that just popped in Jericho's head. So
well,
much like
half of Jericho's shtick, though, and he'll admit that.
Exactly.
He throws, he got stupid idiot over.
Right, and you know, and then he has to come out with, of all things, Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara, Ricky Starks. It's like, hey, well, let's add to the boy band. Why don't we? And he's going to Ricky Starks. And it's just everything that I didn't want to see Ricky Starks deal with immediately. You could just sense it in the wind. And there it was. Jericho Vampire just nursing off the blood of young talent, keeping his career alive.
There is so many people that think Jericho's doing some of the best work of his career. You're very critical of him, but a lot of people think, and unfortunately for you and a lot of people that are hating on the JAS, which the JAS is, I don't know what to even say about it.
Jobber appreciation.
I like this hat. That was great. I mean, to sit there and say it's bad for Ricky Starks to work with someone like Chris Jericho, I don't think that's true. I think this is a good opportunity for Ricky Starks to get a main spot on the television, because you know it's going to be Jericho. So Ricky Starks is going to be on TV every single solitary week to work with a legend. I'm sure Ricky Starks isn't too pissed off about it, is all I'm saying. There could be a lot worse things and a lot worse people to work with than Chris Jericho, particularly if you're going to get put over. So,
however, if he's leaving, he's not going to be putting him over.
Well, that's the thing. Do we know when Starks' contract is up?
Yeah, I'm just saying offhand. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Right now, it's speculation because Ricky Starks has said a lot of things, but nothing in my eyes compared to what FTR has been kind of dropping. And Also, just the perfect storm that is in WWE. Also, again, I contest. This is something that we talked about. And I don't know if it was an argument or discussion or what have you today. Ricky Starks is never going to be a WWE World Champion. Never. 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 He's 32 already, right? Once he gets to the main roster in WWE, say his contract expires, hypothetical, say his contract expires in May this year coming up, 2023. He starts in WWE NXT June, maybe July. He's going to have a run in NXT. By the time he gets to the main roster, it's 2 or 3 years down the road. He's in his mid to late 30s at that point in time. Mid 30s. He's 32, so mid 30s. He's not big. He would have gotten bigger by now if he was going to get bigger. He's 32. There's no way the tops he'll ever be in WWE would be an Intercontinental Champion. Yeah. So the argument can be made: what for his career should he try to stay a couple years in AEW and become a big fish there in that pond, or does he go to WWE, be a big fish in NXT, and then ultimately be a sidekick to The Miz?
It's funny you say that, because it's definitely what happened. But again, what it comes down to is, you say 2-3 years. I wouldn't be surprised if, especially with Cody being there, that they actually fast tracked Starks through like NXT, where he's there for a year. And partially because of his age. Honestly,
yeah, he's not young.
Like, he can go in there and be, almost like a Nakamura sort of situation. He's going to rule with an iron fist, and then he gets out, and then has the big intro into, the main roster. And again, like, I think he could surpass probably Johnny Gargano by himself.
It's not really saying a lot.
But again, it's Johnny Gargano. If he does a couple of WrestleManias, he'll eventually be sort of a household name.
Yeah, he's not making the show yet right now as the way it's going.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on Gargano, but
yeah,
he's really struggled to get over. He hops around like Shawn Michaels. Is that intentional? Has he always done that?
I haven't noticed that. I got to double check.
He comes in, he does that stupid little dance. Like when he came out, he does a little run around the ring, like goofy Shawn Michaels, not serious. I'm in a retirement match, Shawn Michaels. like DX Shawn Michaels running around the ring, super kicking and dancing as he after he super kicks somebody.
If it gets confirmed that he's doing that for Shawn Michaels, you're going to hate on Gargano.
All you got to do is look at his WWE Raw debut, and then go back and watch any Shawn Michaels clip when him and Triple H come out during the second DX run.
Right.
That's all you got. Literally all you got to do. And he does the super kick as well, which didn't help. So I don't. And again, he's working with Miz. Miz doesn't get anybody over, folks. Once they're done with Miz, they go into an abyss of mediocrity and mid-cardicity. Thank you so much for watching, people. This is Silicon Steve Allen for Vladi Dadi. Here endeth the lesson. And hit that subscribe button. We need subscribers.